The movie begins in a desolate location where a group of 6 friends arrives to shoot a horror video. At the same place, a sheriff arrives with his partner, Ryan, but upon seeing the group, they leave. After finishing their work, the entire group, except for one couple, leaves. The couple stays behind to explore the place and enjoy their time. While exploring, the boy runs into a nearby cabin where he finds a lot of pigs. He picks up a stick and starts poking the pigs, causing them to squeal loudly. Within moments, a man arrives, imitating the pig's sounds. Before the couple can react, the man swings a massive cutter in his hands, instantly decapitating the boy. The girl, horrified, screams and tries to run inside, but the man continues twirling his knife and ultimately slits her throat, killing her as well. It turns out that this man, who just committed these brutal murders, is the son of an old man named Walter, who used to run this slaughterhouse. However, his business had completely shut down because, in the modern age, people preferred processed meat from factories rather than from slaughterhouses. Walter never upgraded his business, which led to its decline. Meanwhile, his competitor, Greg, had successfully modernized his meat factories and was now at the peak of success. Greg, who once worked under Walter, later set up his own meat factory and introduced modern techniques, making him extremely successful. Walter's son, Owen, had been raised inside the slaughterhouse among pigs, which had turned him into something inhuman. He acted like a pig and even spoke in pig-like sounds. The reason he had killed the couple was that they had disturbed his pigs. For Owen, his pigs were the only thing that mattered. The next morning, Greg arrives at Walter's property with a sheriff and one of Walter's old friends to persuade him to sell his land. This old friend was the same person who had advised Walter to set up the slaughterhouse, and it was because of his advice that Walter's business had initially succeeded. Over time, he had also suggested that Walter modernize his business, but Walter had refused. Now, this friend worked with Greg. Greg offers Walter $55,000 for his property, allowing him to continue living there while working for Greg's company. However, Walter declines the offer again. The sheriff warns him that if he doesn't sell now, his property will be auctioned off next month due to unpaid taxes. But Walter still refuses and goes back inside. The sheriff then posts an auction notice on his property. After they leave, Walter tries to enter his slaughterhouse but is stopped by Owen for the first time ever. Surprised, Walter quickly goes inside and is horrified to find 2 dead bodies hanging inside, the couple that Owen had killed earlier. Walter screams at Owen, scolding him for what he had done. Owen, in response, gets angry at his father and even considers attacking him with a knife but then changes his mind. Strangely, Walter's anger soon fades, and he praises Owen for the precision of the cuts he made on the bodies. Owen, pleased with the compliment, smiles. Seeing this, Walter starts formulating a new plan. He tells Owen that they need to make 3 special cuts on Greg, the sheriff, and their partner. Walter then prepares himself and calls Greg, pretending to accept his offer and inviting him to the slaughterhouse. Meanwhile, the remaining 4 members of the friend group are still planning their horror video. They visit a shop to buy masks and other props and decide to return to the slaughterhouse to continue filming, unaware of the danger lurking there. At the same time, Ryan receives a report about a missing couple, coincidentally, the same couple he had last seen near the slaughterhouse. Suspicious, he heads to the slaughterhouse to investigate. Upon arriving, he finds the group of 4 filming their video. They are unaware of any danger because Walter had already hidden the dead bodies. After finishing their shoot, they leave, but Owen sees them. Walter again calls Greg and his group, pretending he is ready to sell the property. Inside the slaughterhouse, Ryan spots blood dripping from above. When he looks up, he sees a dead cat hanging from the ceiling. The cat had been annoying Owen's pigs, so Owen had killed it and hung it up. This sight confirms Ryan's suspicions that a killer is present there. As he moves forward with his gun drawn, a massive cutter suddenly swings down, slicing off his hand. Ryan bleeds out and dies on the spot. The attacker, of course, is Owen. After killing Ryan, Owen calls Walter to show him what he had done. Walter is momentarily shocked by another murder but ultimately praises Owen once again. Later, Walter and Greg's mutual friend arrives at the slaughterhouse to discuss the deal. However, Walter and Owen have decorated the slaughterhouse with hanging human corpses, terrifying the visitor. Before he can escape, Owen grabs his head and crushes his skull with his bare hands, killing him instantly. Even after this, Owen is not satisfied. He puts on Ryan's uniform and takes his car. When responding to police radio calls, he mimics Ryan's voice in his pig-like manner. Meanwhile, Ryan's girlfriend sees the car and assumes Ryan is inside. She stops the vehicle, only to find Owen behind the wheel. Horrified, she rushes back to her car, but Owen throws a rock at her windshield. Panicking, she flees on foot, but Owen chases her down and brutally slits her throat, claiming yet another victim. Back at the slaughterhouse, Greg finally arrives. Since he was the main reason for Walter's downfall, Walter and Owen had planned the most gruesome death for him. Owen throws Greg into a meat grinder, slowly turning his body into minced meat. Meanwhile, the four friends are partying at a club when a terrifying storm hits, causing a blackout. Seeing this as the perfect spooky atmosphere, they decide to return to the slaughterhouse for another horror video shoot. As a dare, Jessica, one of the girls, agrees to stay alone in the slaughterhouse overnight. Once inside, two of the guys try to prank her by wearing masks and scaring her through the windows. However, as one of them sneaks up behind her, Owen suddenly appears and splits him in half with a single strike. Jessica, realizing the danger, tries to escape but is caught by Walter, while Owen kills another one of their friends. Ultimately, Walter also kills Jessica. The last surviving girl searches for her friends and, upon entering the slaughterhouse, finds their lifeless bodies hanging from the ceiling. Meanwhile, the sheriff receives multiple missing person reports, starting with the couple, then Ryan, followed by Harold and Greg. Realizing that all the disappearances lead back to Walter, he heads to the slaughterhouse for an investigation, calling for backup before leaving. Inside, Walter and Owen are torturing the last girl because she turns out to be the sheriff's daughter. Just as they are about to kill her, the sheriff arrives and distracts them, allowing her to escape. Owen chases after her, but the sheriff shoots at him, forcing him to retreat. The chase leads to the pigpen area. The sheriff tells his daughter to escape while he handles Walter and Owen until backup arrives. However, before he can execute his plan, Walter sneaks up behind him and stabs him in the stomach. Just as he is about to attack the daughter, she grabs her father's gun and shoots Walter, finally killing him. Seeing that her father is still alive, she carries him toward her car to take him to the hospital. But before she can drive away, Walter suddenly reappears, standing in front of the car. Instead of panicking, she accelerates, ramming into him and crushing his skull under the wheels. Thinking she and her father are finally safe, she starts driving away, only to realize too late that Owen is hiding in the back seat. In one swift motion, he slashes her throat with his knife, killing her. The movie ends on